The unsettling signs you've lived before. Have you ever felt that strange sense of familiarity in a place you've never been? Or a sudden, irrational fear you just can't explain? What if these aren't just weird coincidences? What if they're unsettling clues? Memories bleeding through from a life you've already lived. Today, we're exploring the chilling signs that you may have lived before. Whether you're a firm believer in reincarnation, a curious skeptic, or just someone who's experienced something they can't quite shake, you have to admit the idea is captivating. For centuries, across countless cultures, the concept of rebirth has offered an answer to some of life's biggest questions. It suggests that who we are, our talents, our fears, our deepest connections, might just be shaped by experiences we can't consciously remember. For some, this isn't just philosophy. The signs are deeply personal, showing up in mysterious and unsettling ways. These markers can be as subtle as a passing feeling or as profound as a memory that doesn't feel like your own. So if you're into these deeper topics and the mysteries of consciousness, make sure you subscribe. We're about to journey into the fascinating and sometimes chilling world of past life clues. Section 1. The soul's echo, déjà vu and place familiarity. The first and most common sign is one many of us have felt, that overwhelming sense of déjà vu. We're not just talking about that fleeting glitch in the matrix feeling. This is something deeper. It's showing up in a town you've never visited, but somehow knowing what's around the corner. It's seeing a landscape in a foreign country and feeling an inexplicable sense of home. Now, mainstream neuroscience has some theories about this, often attributing déjà vu to memory processing errors or a kind of brain glitch. But there's another, more mysterious idea. Past life researchers and therapists suggest this isn't a glitch, but a soul's recognition. The theory is that your soul retains a memory of important places. So when you encounter that place in this life, your conscious mind draws a blank, but your soul gets a powerful ping of familiarity. It's a feeling that says, "I've been here before." Think about it. Have you ever felt weirdly drawn to a certain culture or historical period? Or traveled somewhere new and felt an instant sense of belonging, like you've just come home after a long time away? This profound sense of place memory is considered by many to be one of the most powerful signs that your journey didn't start with this life. Section 2. Wounds of the past. Unexplained fears and phobias. The next sign is one that can seriously impact our present lives. Intense phobias with no obvious cause. We're talking about an irrational terror of deep water, even if you've never had a bad experience with it, or a paralyzing fear of fire, heights, or specific animals that seems to come out of nowhere. From a psychological perspective, phobias are often linked to a traumatic event, maybe one forgotten from childhood, or even learned from family members. But what if there is no such event? What if the fear makes no logical sense in this lifetime? Proponents of reincarnation have a different theory. These phobias might be echoes of how a past life ended. An intense fear of drowning could stem from a life that ended at sea. A phobia of fire might be a residual memory of being trapped in a burning building. The trauma, it's suggested, is so profound that it leaves an energetic imprint on the soul, which carries that fear into the next life as a warning signal. The soul remembers the danger, even if the mind doesn't. So if you have a powerful, illogical fear you can't trace back to anything in your life, it might be an echo from a soul that's trying to keep you safe from a danger it's already faced. Section 3. Dreams of another time. Vivid and recurring nightly visions. We all have weird dreams, but what about dreams that feel different? Dreams that are incredibly vivid and structured, featuring places, people, and even clothing from a totally different era. This is another sign that has caught the attention of past life researchers. These aren't your typical anxiety dreams. They feel more like memories. You might find yourself in a historical setting, speaking a language you don't know, or feeling deep love for a family that isn't yours, only to wake up confused, with a strange sense of loss. While dreams are widely understood to be products of our subconscious, influenced by our daily lives and imagination, some believe these specific types of dreams are fragments of real experiences bubbling up. Your mind, free from its usual constraints, might be allowing deeper memories to surface. You might repeatedly dream of being a soldier in a specific war, or a farmer in another century. The emotions in these dreams often feel startlingly real. Have you ever had a recurring dream that felt more like a memory? Pay attention to those nightly visions. While there's no scientific proof, some people believe they aren't just dreams, but pages from your soul's scrapbook, opened to a chapter from another life. Section 4. Karmic connections, instant bonds, and aversions. This next sign is all about people. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, powerful connection, as if you've known them forever? Or the opposite, an immediate gut-level dislike for someone you've just met? These intense reactions are sometimes called karmic connections. This is a metaphysical belief, not a scientific finding. But the idea is that we travel through our lives with a soul group to learn certain lessons. When you meet someone from this group, your soul recognizes them on a deeper level. That instant bond might signal a soulmate, a close friend, or a family member from a previous life. The comfort is immediate, and you feel like you can just pick up where you left off. On the flip side, that instant aversion might point to a past life conflict. It's not a simple personality clash. It's a deep, visceral feeling that this person is a threat, perhaps born from a betrayal centuries ago. These soul recognitions are a reminder that our relationships might be far older and more complex than we realize, like threads weaving through time, pulling us toward those we're destined to meet again. Section 5. The physical evidence, birthmarks, and unexplained pains. Perhaps the most unsettling and debated signs are the ones that show up physically. This includes strange birthmarks or chronic pains that doctors just can't explain. Have you ever had a persistent ache that defies diagnosis? A sharp pain in your side or a recurring ache in your neck? Some past life theorists propose these could be cellular memories of physical trauma from a past life. For instance, chronic shoulder pain might be linked to a stab wound, or a breathing issue could relate to a death from smoke inhalation. Even more specific is the research into birthmarks. The late Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist at the University of Virginia, spent decades documenting thousands of cases of children who claimed to remember past lives. He discovered that in many cases, a child had a birthmark or a birth defect that directly corresponded to a fatal wound on the person they claimed to have been. In his huge work, Reincarnation and Biology, Stevenson documented over 200 of these cases. For example, a boy in Thailand who remembered being shot from behind was born with 2 birthmarks, a small, round mark on the back of his head and a larger, irregular one on his forehead, consistent with the entry and exit wounds of a bullet. It's important to note that Stevenson's work, while extensive, is controversial and not widely accepted as conclusive proof of reincarnation by the broader scientific community, which cites concerns about methodology and potential bias. Still, For many, this physical evidence is the most tangible and chilling link between one life and the next. Section 6. The wisdom of the young. Children who remember. The final sign is arguably the most profound. Young children who spontaneously start talking about a past life. Usually between 2 and 5 years old, some kids begin sharing details about another family, another home, and even how they died. They might say things like, "Remember when I was big and used to be a pilot?" Or, "You're not my real mommy." The details these children provide can be astonishingly specific. They might name relatives, describe the layout of a house they've never seen, or speak with a genuine sense of loss about a family in a distant town. One of the most famous examples is the case of James Leininger, a boy from Louisiana who, at 2 years old, began having terrible nightmares about a plane crash. He spoke in detail about being a World War II pilot shot down over the Pacific, naming his aircraft carrier the Natoma Bay, and a friend who was with him. His parents, at first skeptical, investigated and found that a pilot named James Houston had been killed in action, just as their son described. Cases like these are rare and controversial. Skeptics suggest alternative explanations like cryptomnesia, where a person unconsciously recalls information they learned from a book or TV show, or that parents may unintentionally influence the stories. Researchers like Dr. Stevenson and his successor, Dr. Jim Tucker, have documented over 2,500 of these cases at the University of Virginia, noting that the memories tend to fade as the child gets older. For those few years, however, it's as if the veil between lives is thin, offering a brief, stunning glimpse into a soul's long journey. The experiences we've talked about are deeply personal, and they definitely raise more questions than they answer. That's what makes this whole topic so compelling. We would love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced any of these signs? A strange sense of déjà vu, an unexplainable fear, or a dream that felt way too real? Share your story in the comments below. Hearing each other's experiences is how we can explore these mysteries together. And if this video sparked your curiosity, please give it a like and subscribe for more journeys into the unexplained. Conclusion. From the uncanny feeling of returning to a place you've never been, to the physical marks we might carry on our bodies, these unsettling signs form an interesting pattern. For believers, they are breadcrumbs left by the soul, pointing back to a history that is far grander than a single lifetime. For skeptics, they are fascinating anomalies of the human mind, phenomena like cryptomnesia, confabulation, or misattributed memories. Regardless of what you believe, these experiences encourage us to look deeper. They tap into that strange feeling that you are more than you seem, that you might carry an ancient wisdom, an old love, or a deep wound you didn't get in this life. Maybe these signs aren't meant to be frightening. Perhaps they're simply reminders from our own soul, letting us know that our story is far from over, and that the end of one chapter is just the beginning of the next.